Hello, y'all. We are in round 2. I have already recorded this once today, and I decided that I was doing you a disservice by the way that it was recorded. So we're back here for round 2. The interesting thing is that this morning, the vibe on this was, what would your person say if they had the balls to? uh, and so it was a little bit sassy, but I felt like, I don't want to read this from a certain energy. And at one point I had my energy just really plummeted in like midway through the group 2 space, and I just rolled with it, but I felt like it was pretty obvious, and I definitely don't want to come back into this after having taken a week off and be lackluster, I suppose. So I decided that I would come back to this when I felt a little bit more energized, and we would tackle this again. Today, I think we're going to make this a little bit lighthearted. We're going to use humor today to kind of talk about this because it's a little bit heavier of a topic. I do want to say things that need to be said in these spaces, but I also don't want to bring you down. I want you to come in here and feel uplifted and have a good time, because obviously this is for entertainment purposes, and I don't want to plant any, negative seeds, I guess. So here we are together in this space, this no contact zone. Let's figure out why that is. All right, we have group 1, group 2, and group 3. Shoop. Goodbye. Group 1. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to tap into your person's energy, see where they at. Oh goodness, we're just starting off a communication read with a bang. Go me. We're going to see where they are at in terms of their energy, and then we're going to figure out why they aren't communicating with you and what they would say if they did. Okay, so first of all, I just want to state that the Death card is a card of new beginnings. I don't personally read that card as an ending. I always see it as a new beginning. And so I do feel like your person, what they're really wanting in this space is a new beginning. However, there is a little bit of a hit energetically with this person that while they want a new beginning with you, they don't want to have accountability for anything that happened. It's kind of moving from the space of a clean slate. I don't know if I personally like that too much, group 1, but we'll figure out what's going on and why, because everyone deserves the benefit of doubt, including your person. So I've actually already drawn the energies for your collective in particular, because I just had to start over again. This is technically the 3rd time that I've started this, but it's the 2nd time I'm recording the whole video. So rather than search for your person's energy again, I'm just going to use the energy that came out in the last time I did this, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. So your person's energy right now is coming in as the bee, the wolf, the lion, the octopus, the owl, and the snake. Your person is learning something in this moment. Let's go ahead and tap really quick into the wisdom oracles, and then I will get a full read on your person's energy. So these ones I have not actually shuffled yet for your collective. We got this bad boy wanting to come out. New life, here you go. See, I told you. It's like I do this. Like I know things. And we have never ending story actually in the reverse. And I'm going to leave that in the reverse because that's important, the way that it came out, especially when in unison to new life. Okay, so what I think your person is going through right now energetically, and you might not have an awareness of this because I feel like this is a no contact zone, is they are absorbing information. They are learning a lesson in this moment. Now, how your person maybe typically operates is in this sort of bee energy, sort of kind of, and I don't think that this is, I think this might be a little bit of what they're moving out of. This is sort of like a person who just like puts a little bit of their nectar here and a little bit of their nectar. Is that nectar, right? Is that the right word? I don't think that's the right word. But they kind of go from flower to flower, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Are you picking up what I'm putting down, collective one? Okay. They pollinate from flower to flower to flower to flower to flower to flower to flower. A little bit of hit here, 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 and now the whole flower field likes the bee. Okay, you get it? This person, I think, was used to operating in a space where they could kind of get attention from every flower. And so they would go and just kind of pollinate in several different spaces. They operate, though, in this kind of lone wolf vibe. They would be somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of friends, who doesn't have a large friend group, who doesn't have, and this is actually very common in energies that operate like this, is that they don't really have solid friendships, and so that's why they seek validation in very kind of quick, easy, consumable ways. And there are a lot of people that can be, I guess, easily manipulated. And what I mean by that is it's easy for some energies to get attention because they understand what others need from them in order to get the attention. So I give you a little bit of attention, and you'll give me twice as much attention because I understand that you don't get this kind of attention often. And so that's like the energy that this person kind of operates in. And I think they have an awareness of this. And one of the things, this fly needs to go. I made this little concoction that is supposed to trap flies. I can't figure out where they're coming in at, and it's driving me mad. It's summer. Anyway, so this person then kind of operates in a way that, with this lone wolf thing, okay, people that operate in this kind of energy, or who do this and have an awareness of this, know what they're doing, A, but B, they also part of the reason is because they don't actually have solid friendships. They don't have solid relationships or solid foundations, or a solid foundation within self. And so they kind of operate. Now, with the lone wolf thing, is that for this energy and with this person, it's not that they're operating in the lone wolf energy because they're comfortable with themselves. I think that's what they're moving into, actually. They're kind of trying to be comfortable with themselves. They're moving out of this. They're kind of, it seems to me that they're understanding the error of their ways. But have they been a snake before? Yes, they have. And they have an awareness of that. This is a really smart person, really operates a certain way, very knowledgeable. But what's occurring here actually is that they're understanding this about themselves. Now, I don't know that this was necessarily something that was subconscious to them, but they're understanding that this is really impacting their ability to have more meaningful connections, and that it's actually this behavior that is disconnecting them from being able to have closer connections with others. So this new beginning that they want, it's like, I feel like this could be connected to you in some way, and that this relationship or this connection that they had with you was sort of the catalyst for a lot of this, even inadvertently. They may not be in a space of willing to admit that, but this is something that kind of, you being there taught them something in this space, especially if they're going through all of this in your energy, because this is your energy that we're sitting in. This is your reading. This is for you. So if they're here with you, this has a lot to do with what they're going through in terms of this connection with you, right? The new life and the never-ending story. The never-ending story in reverse is them stepping outside of a pattern of behavior, them choosing to no longer operate as a bee. Okay, as a bee that is just kind of like, you know, it's breadcrumby a little bit, you know, they're kind of just going around from flower to flower and, you know, giving a little bit of attention here and a little bit of attention there. That way that they can receive a whole lot of attention and then not have to focus on the things that they need to focus on within self. And so now they're in this space of seeing things, seeing that this you know, when you tap into certain energies, that the only purpose of you tapping into those is to receive attention from them, then you know that what you have is you're operating in a certain energy that is going to put you into alignment with things that absolutely suck. So if he or she or whoever is in the space builds the awareness, which is not simple. Let's just start there. That it's relatively normal to be sort of walking through life with a veil on and not understanding our subconscious patterns of behavior. That's very typical and very common. So that's one thing that we all need to kind of get on board with, is understanding that this is deeper than it being about you or this person. It's, you know, this is a long-standing history of this kind of behavior that exists within this person, and arguably all of us have our own long-standing innate behaviors that we operate in. For this person, they seem to be building awareness. They're obtaining knowledge, they're gathering knowledge. These cards right here are not really they're not hitting energetically as something that we need to be sort of cautious of. These energies over here are something that they need to be cautious of. And so this is sort of indicating that this is what they're tackling within self, and recognizing too that they have been a bit of a snake. Very smoke and mirrors here, pretending that they don't know more than they know. And this is kind of the energy that would expect you to play dumb while they play dumb. You know, it's like that. There's certain energies that they play dumb and just to see, I guess, what they can get away with. This is a level of immaturity, by the way. This kind of communication is the type of communication that immature people utilize. And it's just a matter of having to grow up. It's also a matter of not having proper guidance. This is something that many of us experience, is that if our parents didn't know how to properly communicate and their parents didn't know how to properly communicate, then how the hell are we going to come out of it being able to properly communicate without being the ones who break the mold? And so, you know, many of us, unfortunately, are in this collective of being the ones that are breaking the mold. And this person very well could be that, and just could be a late bloomer to that. And so now they're kind of like, now they're seeing sort of the full spectrum of their behavior in a much different light, and seeing it in this sort of all-encompassing space, and looking at self and going, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me, you know, that Taylor Swift song. So, which is good. This is a good energy for your person to be in. I think that self-awareness is never a bad thing for your person or anyone to step into. So now that we kind of have their energy, I feel like that was a little bit more of their subconscious energy, but that's how I roll in this space. We go deep. Let's figure out then why they did what they did. All right, and then we will tap into their messages. Why did Group 1's person operate the way they did? Tell us things, please, and thank you. Give us all the deets. What is going on? I think it was a... hold on, let's move into Justice, Swords, Seven of Pentacles, and this. Hold on, let's go out all the way. We're just going to take the whole bottom of the deck here to clarify what's going on in this space. Okay, so what happened in this space is that feelings came in actually very quickly, probably quicker than anticipated and quicker than they expected. This sort of came in as this sort of, it's interesting because in some way it's like this person was sort of in a space of maybe even manifesting this, or manifesting some kind of relationship, and then it's like it was granted to them relatively quickly in you, and it was like, here you go, here's the Queen of Wands that you have asked for. Here's this communicative goddess who's going to come in and tell you how she feels, and she's going to be very passionate about you, and she's going to really want you, and what are you going to do? You're going to fuck it all up. So sorry. Oh, the channeling today is so much fun. I love this energy. But okay, let's be a little bit more serious about it. It is that though. It is that the feelings came into this space really quickly, and it could not be trusted. It was, this is moving too quick, too fast, too soon. I don't like it. I want to slow down. I want to balance this out. I don't want to feel all these feelings. I don't know why I'm feeling all these feelings. I'm all over the place and I don't like it. And I'm so used to being the bee that I can be the pollinator. I can be going around. I make the rules here in this space, right? Is like your person's sort of energy. And then you came in and you were like, well, I'm going to shake all that up just by existing. And this is sort of like counterpart energy. This is very twin flamey and I hate that word. But I mean, it is what it is. If that is a real thing, I think that we can get caught up. I think there is such thing as false twin flames. Your twin flame would absolutely never harm you on purpose. So this would be something that would have to be very, their behavior in this space would have to be very dissected to make sure that this was something that would be, they were operating from a space in which they actually cared about you. They actually cared about you. Let's not say things that way. Let's say it a little bit kinder. They were operating in a way that wasn't intentionally harming you, okay. But and here's the thing is that it's almost as though they just didn't feel like they could live up to you. That it's like they felt all this really quick. You came in and were very passionate about them, very communicative. These two coming in together, like this Queen of Wands came in with her Ace of Swords. Like, here you go. Here's how I feel. This is like, I'm able to communicate with you. I can tell you how I feel. And this kind of came in really quick. Then it put them into this space of going, I got things that I need to work on, specifically their own stability. Here's the Four of Swords, which is that healing reflective state. And then all around that, you have Pentacles. You have the Knight of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, or the Four of Pentacles. So they're in this space around this energy right here of healing something within self, which has a lot to do with their individual stability. Could have a lot to do with monetary things as well. If this is a masculine energy, some masculine energies, a lot of masculine energies, a good majority of the masculine energies feel they must provide, okay, and must be able to offer something. And so if they all came into this feeling like, I have nothing to give this Queen of Wands, and now I'm in this phase and I accidentally, I pollinated the wrong flower, and I actually liked this flower. Now I'm screwed, essentially. They felt like they had a whole lot to work on within self. Here we are here then, is that they were kind of building into this foundation, and it's like this had this whole inner turmoil going on. What shifted perspectives, I think, actually was you coming in and communicating something to them that kind of shifted their perspective, their awareness, the way that they see things, the way that they saw this connection, the way that they viewed something in terms to how this played out. Is like this energy, which, I mean, I'm just going to say that you're probably the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. That's how I'm hitting it, because 98% of my collective is in the feminine space. And so I'm going to assume that, but you can flip it, reverse it, however it works best for you. This communication really brought in, it got the wheels turning, okay? Some sort of boundary even that was set, then saw things differently. You shifted too, by the way, because whenever this stuff went down with this person and then it kind of like went in within this, you were much more passionate here, much more passionate, and then moved into like a lot different energy with this person, moving from one kind of not extreme, but being a lot more playful and fluid and open and just having fun with them, and to going, oh, now I have to be really cautious of you because you operated a certain way. They were going within, but were they communicating why they were going within? No, they were going within and they were internalizing. This is all this together here, right? They were internalizing what they were working on. They weren't telling you why they were working on it. They weren't telling you what the goal is, why they were doing it, what the purpose was. All of this was going on here in sort of the behind the scenes or beneath the veil or internally, because there's a whole lot of absence of communication specifically from your person. The communication cards are surrounding you in particular. Their communication, see, like you have positive communication cards. They have not negative communication cards, anxious communication cards, where communicating makes them feel anxious, and so they don't do it. And that's the issue here, is that they're fearful of their own vulnerability, fearful of saying, this is more so, it's not necessarily about fearing what they feel and how they think and how they, what they would like to communicate. It's the not knowing the outcome. A very analytical thinker here. And you have to remember, they come out as an octopus and they come out as the owl in this space, right? So there's somebody who gathers all the information. Well, one of the things that we don't know as humans is the outcome of things in the unknown. And with the absence of knowing for sure, if I do this, then I will, without knowing that, it puts your person in limbo, and not even necessarily in limbo, but it puts them in a space in which they are, what is it? It is limbo, yes, but it is like a stalemate, stagnancy. They just don't move. They become immovable in that space. And it comes off very stubborn, right? But really, they're just not communicating, and they're fearing the communication and fearing the accountability in things that maybe occurred in this space, because they do have this energy, right, of coming out as the snake or the bee. And so it's like they kind of stepped a certain way with you, anticipating that you were somebody that you weren't, or that you were going to operate in sort of systematically in the way that all these other energies operate. This is somebody who really understands the opposing energy. They understand how to gain a specific response. They're very aware of that. Is it malicious necessarily? It depends. But they have an awareness of that. Now, what they did not anticipate, however, is your response. Your response came in differently. The way that you operated came in differently. The way that you have moved with them was different. The way that you communicated with them was different. Now they're in the space of going, oh boy, like I actually might like this one, and I don't know how to operate that because I don't know if I can trust this. Trust is a big one here as well. That's sometimes when we're in that space of safety. And if this is an avoidance space, okay, if this person tends to avoid emotion in particular, you coming in with what I like to call word daggers, or laying down the law or putting down some boundaries, that pushes them even further into the cave. So you almost have to kind of back off and not be as communicative, and sort of then move into a space in which you're sort of matching the vibe a little bit, right? However much effort this person is putting in, which if you're in no contact is none, then you put in none. And then if they end up, I guess, building the courage to communicate effectively, then I guess you can wait for that. Oftentimes, by the time that this energy develops the courage to communicate, this energy has moved on. And that's something that I think y'all really have to have an awareness of, because unfortunately that tends to be true. This is often a masculine energy, a wounded masculine energy at that, and they move like molasses. It takes them a lot longer to fall for things. Whereas feminines just kind of, we have intuition, we know things a little bit quicker, we're much more, it's very interesting the way that they depict us in sort of, the system on how energies operate. But actually the hopeless romantics tend to be the masculines, and the ones that fall impulsively tend to be the feminines, actually. So it's very interesting that this is like how the dynamic shifts, and it's spoken about much differently, but I digress. So that's kind of why they have done this. It's fear, a lot of it is fear. Fear of accountability and fear of vulnerability. Those two things in particular. Not really being able to say what it is that they're going through, why they're feeling it, what they were working on. They're really keeping a lot from you, actually, but quite a bit from you in this space. So let's find out what they would say if they were brave. Now, you know, the thing about the cowardly lion, well, I don't know why we started there. I noticed that I didn't really tap into that lion space too much. And I wanted to give a hit really quick about the lion in the Wizard of Oz. The lion in the Wizard of Oz, like what he was lacking wasn't necessarily courage. He was operating from ego. That's why when they provided him his courage, it was a certificate. It was just a piece of paper that said, okay, you have courage now. Because we knew that courage is something that is built within. Okay, it's not externally provided, but so the lion was seeking his courage without recognizing that what he would be seeking was in self. So what the wizard did was provided him a certificate to fuel his ego so that he could find courage within self. That's what they want to do. Sex with me, so amazing. Any Rihanna for you? Okay. You know I got the sauce. You know I'm saucy. And it's always wet. Okay, sorry. Hello, collective one. What would they say? I mean, they definitely are attracted to you sexually. Why can't I tell you the truth? What is the truth? They're so confused, poor baby. I don't know where to start. What do you see in me? Yeah, and it does. I get a little bit of that too. Is like they have. I was gonna say that earlier too, and I totally spaced on that. It's like they have a little bit of a pedestal for you. It's like they had. It's like, ooh, I accidentally pollinated the best flower in the field, and I don't know what to do now. They have kind of raised you up a little bit, placed you up on this pedestal, and really this is all of their own self-doubt, which is unfortunate because I feel like what they need to understand is that if you're in energetic alignment, then you are aligned, as in you're equals, you know, you're energetically hitting for a similar reason and a similar purpose. And we can kind of put people up on a pedestal inadvertently through the absence of communication. If they had just communicated with you a little bit better, or vice versa, this is a two-way street, it takes two to tango, then we could kind of be in a different space. But it's like they feel things much deeper than they are willing to express to you. And it's like they're just moving in fear, unfortunately. And it's like this absence of safety. And I feel like, you know, I would, if you want advice in this space, definitely tread lightly. Don't come in like accusing someone of something or pointing fingers or being too harsh. Say what you need to say. Yes. Don't you best make it clear. Like, I am not the one, like, you know, I'm not going to play your little games with you. You can start there. Right. But you can do it in a way that's graceful too. Right. And then just provide safety. This person really needs safety. And that's what, and you both do. I mean, when it gets down to brass tacks, that's what helps develop a healthy connection is security. Okay. And often we seek security in others rather than seeking it within self and being able to provide that to someone else. So one of you needs to be in a space of really understanding this. That way, then you can softly operate with one another instead of being so like cutthroat about things. Okay. I don't know where to start. What do you see in me? Again, it's like they just don't, like they don't see that they live up to you. Don't treat me the way you do. I don't deserve it. Yeah. So if you have been in a space where you've kind of spoken a certain way to this person, and it can get easy, like when someone's not communicating with us effectively, it can get frustrating, right? And if you're a word dagger type of person or a fight response, you can kind of inadvertently cut with words. And so really do being mindful of your tongue. And you know, if you mess up or if you step a certain way, hold yourself accountable to teach accountability. That's one thing. Like I'm very aware of like how I can kind of come off to people. And if I step a certain way, I'll be like, look, I'm sorry. I was acting like a child. I'm learning here too. This is a two-way street. It ain't just you, baby. And I don't know if that's necessarily effective, but it might help, but I don't know. If I could go back in time, I would handle us differently. Yeah, they do have a little bit of regret. It's, they're just going to have to, this is the thing with this energy here, collective one, that I think you need to understand too, is that if you hold your hand out to them and you tell them and you're like, it's okay that you did that, and you just like keep reaching your hand out to them, they're never going to learn that this behavior is not effective communication. They have to learn this lesson on their own. So you have to pull your hand back, place it on self, and just have faith here. Offer them love energetically from a distance, okay? Don't be reaching your hand out when you've already done it and you've done enough, right? You've reached your hand out quite a bit in this space, and that's enough. That's enough of that. We're done with that. Okay? They gotta be the ones to kind of step up, grow up, man up, woman up, whatever it is, It's your turn. Here we are with You Deserve Better. Yeah, it's like here's the thing is like your person's giving up before even trying, which is unfortunate. It's like they really don't see themselves as your equal. They don't see themselves as your match. And I think you guys actually with this, you triggered me. I think that this is something that you guys are both experiencing in unison with this sort of behavior. This is very much a chaser-runner dynamic, right? Where your person is running and you're chasing. But if you're in my collective, and I tend to sit in this space a little bit, I know that we have been very mindful of the chasing in this collective as well, and really kind of been in a space of pulling back and allowing space. So that could be tripping them up too, is like expecting you to chase more, expecting you to be a lot more overbearing even, and you're not. So that's another thing too. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they always say that the masculine is the leading energy, and sometimes I think that that is true in some spaces, but emotionally I think that the feminine actually leads, but kind of, I think we lead to a certain extent. I am scared of rejection. They have hurt me. They've been hurt in the past, and I think this is also mutual as well. I think this is something. The passion I feel is overwhelming. I don't know how to handle this. Yeah. It's like so sometimes like when certain energies get into feeling too much, it's like they then don't know how to operate in this space. And if you're sort of basic, hold up, wrong word. If your innate way of being sort of demands more respect or demands, if you just have something to offer that is, you're respectful, or you're more like, you just, you're, I guess, more balanced, more grounded, more put together. And in our system and in our society, like there's a lot of us operating from wounded egos. And so even just having an awareness of that is already kind of a leg up for you, right? If you're in that space, then this energy, if there's still kind of, swimming in the muck a little bit, it's going to be very overwhelming. It's going to make, it's going to feel like it just takes a whole lot of patience to get this person to come around. It's going to take a whole lot of patience. And that's the thing, is like, oftentimes I feel like in connections, that we form today, is like we don't have the patience to wait for these kind of energies to come around. We don't have the patience, and oftentimes, like, because the reason that we don't have it is sort of we're seeking those outcomes ourselves. Each of you are doing that in your own way. But the problem is that some of these energies, they don't come around. They don't come up. They find something to hit with that's easier, I guess, to get what they're looking for from, and it's, you know, safe enough, and so then they don't kind of step outside of the trajectory of where they've been. And for you here in Collective One, having an awareness of that is knowing that you could be waiting for someone to step up to you for a very long time. So don't hold yourself back from living your life while kind of waiting for this energy. Do they have deeper feelings for you? I would say absolutely they have deeper feelings for you. Are they willing to act on it? Right now, they are moving in fear. But the thing is they're learning. So this information is really being downloaded to them. And they are wanting a new beginning. They are wanting to change. So that alone, just having that is a positive aspect to this person. Seeing their own behaviors and wanting to shift those is the best space for them to be in. Now they need to put in action. Okay, and so that's kind of where your person is at. And they won't be able to do that if you put the action first, Collective One. So get busy, get distracted, find something to do. You can keep reading. You know what you can keep doing, Collective One? You keep coming here, and I'll just tell you what they feel, and then we don't even have to talk to them, okay? And when they're ready, they'll come to you. How about that? How about it? All right. Okay, Collective One. Do me a huge favor. If this resonated with you in any way, please like this video. That helps my channel tremendously, actually. Just that like button helps way more than you know. If you want to stick around for more readings in the future, do subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notification. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if this is your person. Thank you so much for being here, Collective One. Enjoy the rest of your day. Group 2. Hello, Group 2. Really quick, the song that just popped into my head when I was getting into your person's energy was, "Hey sugar, take it slow, it'll work itself out right." Or fine, right? All we need is just a little patience. So they want you to be patient with them. Okay, what we're going to do really quick is we're going to tap into your person's energy with the spirit animal deck, and then we are going to pop into the wisdom oracle. Patience. 1 foot in, 1 foot out see how this says like 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. This is really important because this is like the duality between spirituality and being grounded in the 3D. This person is sort of in a teetering space. They are balancing out. I do have them coming out really quick as the firefly. Just when I was talking, that was one that came out. So coming out of the dark, moving into the light a little bit. They're learning things. There's a fish out of water. Yeah. And they do have a bit of a... Now, the thing is about your person... Hang on. Hold on. I might have to go tell my little one to quit whistling because I cannot channel with a whistler in the background. Whistler. Sometimes I feel like there are synchronicities to life. Whistleblower, maybe? All right, one more for this person's energy. Just one, please. Thank you, dear. Oh, let's bring this out, though. And this a little bit. So I really feel like your person is moving into a softness, actually, moving into a bit of a more playfulness, or trying to operate in that space. This is new territory for your person. Now they have kind of gone through some sort of cocooning and like a transformation. So they came out of like a butterfly, right? The stingray here is like this chakra system throughout the stingray, but also this awareness that this person, while they are balancing and they are kind of finding their own zen and finding their own peace within, they are not to be taken lightly. They'll stab you. You know, metaphorically, obviously. I mean, let's really hope that your person, if that's the case, then we are in the wrong type of reading. But metaphorically, like this is somebody that they have a defense system. They are not going to, you know, I don't say that you need to tread lightly with this person, but they are definitely, they have a backbone, okay? And here's the thing is that, see how this is like, these are here in the dark is the firefly and the fish here, and this is all like lighter energy. This person maybe operated from a space of wounding, I think, and then has moved and transitioned and now is moving in a much lighter territory, in a lighter space. This is new territory for your person. This like 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of thing is sort of a new beginning. Hold on, I just realized I forgot your wisdom oracles, and I want those to be a part of your energy read. What is the wisdom oracle energy for group 1, 2s? 1, 2. Goodness, maybe you are connected to group 1. Okay, group 2's person. Goodness. Orphaned. Peace. We're gonna put peace in the upright. Serendipity on the bottom of the deck. Serendipitous. I love that word. Okay. So anyway, they here's the darkness. This over here kind of exists. Ooh, the masculine energy fell on that. Oh. You know what? This could be, okay, for some of you, this is actually like a reading for you specifically tapping into this. I have a very small collective that is masculine. So for a lot of you that are tapping into this, this is just kind of a reminder of something. Because I just had this masculine, this is my masculine crystal, this is my feminine crystal. The masculine one fell out into this dark space, right? So this could be an energy, a feminine energy that was operating in their masculine, moving into their feminine. Just saying, you know, that's just one hit I have. Okay, but anyway, this fish out of water here, what is happening is that they've been in a space of really feeling isolated in the world around them. Okay, they're feeling kind of like they don't fit in. They've had, I think one of the things that they had really operating in this space was just not feeling connected into community or connected into the space around them. Or they could be physically orphaned. They could be somebody who doesn't have any family or any parents, or they have nobody around them. Or they just are kind of alone, you know, in retrospect. And really I would say that their family here, if they have like family around them or they have people that are close to them, it's probably friendships more than it is actual family. So they're new to this. They're new to understanding themselves. They're new to, they're at least coming out of the darkness. They're coming out of wounding, okay? Coming out of being in a space of looking at the world from a darker place. Now they've kind of gone through this transition, you know, the butterfly, the dragonfly. So not only have these transitions, these experiences really transformed them. And if you know anything about the ways in which a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, or any of these, how the transformation of turning into a moth or a dragonfly, any of these, they go through a bit of a metamorphosis. And when they do that, they also go through this like cocooning stage, and they become like, they essentially disintegrate. Like, it's very painful actually. And then kind of transform into this, you know, being set free. So this energy is like they've been set free. They are understanding themselves. They are playing more. They are viewing the landscape around them in a different way, and really going through this very transformative process of having gone through several sort of ascensions in life. And one of the ascensions that they could have went through is really being in this space of having once been, why did we just have that come into my brain sometimes? You know what song just came in? It was like, once bitten, twice shy, baby. Which, who sings that? I don't even know. Someone told me once in a reading, because I said it a long time ago, but anyway, so what could have happened in this pathway is this person could have had a past in which they were maybe, they could have been just really, wouldn't have considered themselves attractive or a catch or worthy in some way, or maybe had been went through some sort of transformation within self. This reminds me, and I'm just going to trigger warning this for you because I know some people are sensitive to this term, but it's the only way to explain this: ugly duckling syndrome, where they had a past or a history of kind of not really being seen as a catch, and now they are. And so, which is great. You know why this is really great? Because then people who move into this energy that have this sort of, they maybe once didn't feel attractive and now everybody thinks they're attractive. They're so humble about it because they just don't, they still have this like blockage of being able to see themselves in that space. So I mean, I'm not mad at that kind of energy. And then you have the workhorse here too. So they're definitely somebody who seems very tenacious and spiritually motivated as well, with this like moon kind of crowned up in their in their third eye, really kind of being in a space of unveiling things that they hadn't seen before, moving into their own peace, finding peace from the darkness. This is a person who alchemizes from pain. This is a person who grows through what they go through, right? So they have shifted majorly, okay, from operating in a space of darkness. Now, with the fish out of water is like they can still kind of get imbalanced here, because like one foot in the water, 1 foot on the land. Here's like the grounded space, even though there's like taking flight here as well. And then this, being in the water still, this sort of darkness, they could kind of trip up sometimes and like, operate in how they used to behave, and then kind of come back in with more grace for self and correct themselves as well. Because a lot of these energies are very, lighthearted. Okay. So that is your person. And for some of you, that is just a reminder of you. Okay, so let's figure out why your person is not communicating with you. And then we'll figure out what they would say if they would communicate. All right. Why is group 2's person not communicating with them? Why? They're feeling a little bit defensive. And yet would be totally willing to fight for you. They see something about your connection as a cycle being repeated, and I don't think they want to be in that. I'm going to take these as being together here, because I really got this as they have, just with the other energy, I feel like this is them building their own self-control. Then it is about controlling others. Things that are unseen here. On the bottom of the deck, you have the High Priestess and the Magician. They're in a space of manifesting. Three of Swords, though, here. Whatever occurred in this connection really hurt their feelings, hurt them. So here's what it is with this, this energy here surrounding the sun, okay? Now, the way that this is hitting is actually your person kind of seeing themselves in this light, okay, or seeing you in this light, and seeing, well, it's kind of like a duality existing here. What happened though, and what's going on, yes, this person would be willing to defend this connection to an extent, okay. It feels like they would be willing to fight for this. It feels like they would consider themselves, would want to consider themselves the chosen one, or want to be in this space with you as your partner. What's going on in their energy though, and you have the Hanged Man here as well, kind of popping out. I don't know where we're going to stick that, over here, is that they feel backed into a corner. So it's like they, with the Nine of Wands, at least in this deck, is like this. So this person would have been pushed into a corner to defend themselves. So what's going on in their energy right now is they feel like they have no choice but to defend themselves. They have no choice but to defend their own honor. And they're doing this in a very isolated way. They're doing this in a way that is, it's like, well, I tried to work with the village and the village didn't want to work with me, so now I'm going to burn the whole village down because the village is against me. All these people are there against this person, and they're kind of behind a wall, backed into a corner, fighting and defending themselves and defending their own honor. And so it's almost like the energy of this person is really just not accepting of certain behaviors, and not accepting of things that just don't fit in alignment with them, stubbornly so in some capacity. They see this connection and what's going down on this connection as a cycle being repeated. They see this as something that they don't want to repeat in terms of behavior in particular. And it seems as though they're just very rigid in that belief system, and very rigid in how they see it, and very kind of dry in it here with this energy here is like, I am not going to repeat that kind of cycle. I am not going to repeat this kind of energy. Now, could they be maybe misguided a little bit? That's a possibility. But whatever has gone down in here, it really kind of tripped them up and made them feel a certain way. And they either saw what I feel these two cards here coming out together is this need for self-control, this need for balancing self, and not being in the space of not being here, not being so combative, not being in a space of fighting for something, especially if we feel it's a repeating cycle. And it's like, is there a bit that this person isn't seeing? I think actually this person has a lot of awareness, honestly, and they're moving into this space of knowing what they need to do to manifest a new reality, what they need, and it could very well not include you in this space right now. Is like they're very centered into not wanting to go down a very specific avenue again in a connection, and being very stubborn in that, and being very kind of rigid about it, being very, this is a little bit set in their ways. Is there some things that they are not seeing? Yes, actually, let's explain this moon, because perhaps there is. What is that with the moon card? Explain the moon. Oh, I think this is more so something that you might not be seeing, is that this person really does want to move forward in this connection, wants to move on, but there's just so much burden in it, or feeling that they're kind of, more so, it's like the Sun card is this indicator that they feel like they're holding on to a lot of the burden in this space, specifically emotional burden or communication burden. There's not a whole lot of, actually there's not a lot of cups that is in this energy. So it's like they're so where they're operating from right now is having to sort of hold the stability, hold the balance, hold all the, you know, hold the boundaries here, and maintain that, or and even, and this is new to them at that, because they were that fish out of the water, right? So it's hurting them. It's like hurting them to have to be in this space. It's hurting them to have to hold back. It's hurting them to have to be the one that is sort of trying to get out of a cycle that they know they're in with somebody, and wants that person to kind of step out of the cycle as well. And that's those are big shoes to fill. But where they're focused right now is internalized. You know, it's very having faith on, maybe, I don't even know if it's necessarily all within this connection. This is about faith within self, and really manifesting what it is that they want to see in a relationship, whether that includes this relationship or not. And it's heartbreaking in some capacity, but they're very aware that they don't want to experience this again. Very cognizant, very conscious that this to them feels like a repeated cycle, and they don't want to do that. They want it to move and where it's a lot more balanced. They want it to feel a lot more stable. And right now it feels very unstable. And so their only choice that they have in this space really is for them to kind of go within and to focus on self. Yeah, I do feel like for a lot of us, this is going to be you and not your person. I think I maybe have some energies peeking into this space. Okay, let's see what they would say to you if they were communicating. What would group two's person say? What would group two's person? I am blocked. Yeah, they feel like they don't have access to you. The way I've treated you is wrong. You know, with that energy in where it was like stumbling a little bit, you know, earlier today when I did this reading, I had, you got me tripping, you got me stumbling, oh, clumsy, because I'm falling in love. I feel like a lot of the energy that this person, which that's a Fergie song, by the way, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. The energy for this person really has a lot to do with like balancing out. You know, this energy that they had in the Nine of Wands of feeling combative, I think is one of the things that they're kind of working through. Emotions overwhelm me. I long for your kiss. Like they like you. Why can't I move on from you? They're stuck on you. The heat between us is intense. Very like attracted to you. I can't handle your love. You deserve better. Childhood trauma. I need to figure myself out. Yeah, in some ways, like they also kind of feel, you know, for some of you, I feel like you might resonate into the group one space as well. Because it's just very like opposite. And here we go with this card coming out too. Very physically attracted to you. We have a lot of like, I long for your kiss, sex with you, the heat between us. There's a lot of physical attraction. And when physical attraction gets in the way, that trips up a lot of things. Like they have a real attraction to you in a major sense, you know, wanting to kind of be connected to you in that way. They're kind of in this space of, you know, this balancing all this out has a lot to do also with the fact that they feel like they're kind of stuck on you and really not wanting to be in that energy. I can't handle your love. I can't make you happy. These are like sort of their insecurities here. All of this kind of down here is like their insecurities surrounding the connection. I can't handle your love. I can't make you happy. You deserve better. Childhood trauma, which has a lot to do with how we're interacting in this space. And this is mutual, by the way. This isn't one-sided, typically. I need to figure myself out. You are too nice. I don't deserve it. I was like, you could have operated with this person that was like really understanding of some of the things that they were going through, but communication is really something that this is an energy that would probably need a little bit more reassurance. And maybe wasn't receiving that, and or not being, they may also need spoken to very frankly or authentically or honestly. You know, being really honest with this person would go a long way. And this sort of triggered them and tripped them up a little bit. And then what they did, rather than them kind of moving in a space of being like too intense or too combative or too, you know, rigid, is then kind of backing off a little bit and really kind of going within self and trying to figure out what it is that they need to work on within themselves in order to be better in a connection, in any connection, not just connection with you, but like just in a general sense of why are my patterns this way. And they really don't want to repeat a pattern here. That's like the biggest thing in this space is that world in reverse. All of my cards for this deck are in the upright, so the fact that that came out in reverse is really telling. Like, it's really a prominent card that it came out that way. So this is like, I don't want to repeat this cycle. I don't want to repeat a cycle of this behavior. I want to step outside of this. And yeah, there's a lot of fears in that, but it's also just really knowing, or at least having a basic understanding that there's something that's being repeated here. There's also this card as well. Don't treat me the way you do. I don't deserve it. You know, I feel like this is mutual here as well. Being in this space in which the way that this person feels that you treated them was unfairly, and you maybe feel the same about them as well. But it's just kind of being in a space where there needs to be sort of all of this figured out and wiped clean, and start over, or just, you know, something like that, or moving on altogether. But I would say that if you're in here and you're tapping into them and you're wanting to see more about them, then you have some feelings for them. And so why are we here? Why are we seeking these readings? What is missing in this connection? Well, communication clearly is missing in this connection, or you wouldn't be. What would they say to me? You know, how are they feeling about me? So, all right, group 2, if you can do me a huge favor and like this video, that does so much for my channel. It goes so far for me. I really appreciate it. If you like this reading and you want to hear more from me in the future, do subscribe to my channel and turn on that bell notification for more content in the future. Leave me a message down below and let me know if this is your person or if this is you. Thank you so much, group 2, for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hello, group 3. I feel like there's a theme today that some of us are tapping into our own energy in this space, because y'all, you know what came out when I was getting into your energy for group 3 was that at first I was afraid, I was petrified, kept thinking I could never live without you by my side, and I spent so many nights thinking how you done me wrong. But I learned how to, what is it, move along or something like that. And now I'm back from outer space without them. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, that's the energy that popped into this. And I just really don't feel like that's your person. I really feel like that's you. It's like, I'm a survivor. So many songs, like Aretha Franklin, Destiny's Child, right? Was that? Survivor, I'm gonna make it. Oh no, wait, fighter. That's, wait, who sings as a survivor? Is it Destiny's Child? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is. I started thinking of Fighter by Christina Aguilera. All of those apply, okay? So really, I'm getting a feeling that in the last space, I feel like it was going to be a part of the collective. And in this space, it's like 100%, it's like, who cares what they think? It's like, it's almost like the universe or whatever is tapping, is like interjecting into your reading to be like, why are you watching another no contact reading on this person? Group 3. So let's figure out what your person's energy is. All right, what's group 3's person energy? Maybe we can kind of bypass that. Oh, here? What is group 3's person's energy? I feel like that just gave me the option to choose. Ooh, wait. Okay, never mind. It did not give me the option to choose. This came out in the reversal, and I was like, I'm going to put it in the upright. Oh, so we are going to talk about your person. Okay. Okay. I was wrong. Color me. Whatever. Baffled. This is, okay, just really quick, I gotta say, my least favorite spirit animal card is the vulture card. I can't, these two in particular, I don't really like those cards. Ugh. But the vulture, hands down my least favorite spirit animal card. Not to be biased in this space, but I already am not feeling your person. We're gonna just start there, group 3. I'm gonna be a little bit sassy in your space, so you best be prepared. Buckle up, buttercup. All right, your person. Oh, they're trying though. They're trying. Okay, they're trying a little bit. We'll give them that. Okay, I'm not gonna, let me not beat your person up too much. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the wisdom oracles, and I'll tap into energy really quick. Because actually, you know what? This butterfly thing might have been in the right way. I might be beating your person up a little bit too late. These two are not connected here. We're going to get into these energies because they have operated in this space, but they're learning things. Look at you. On the bottom of the deck, you have loyal heart. Okay. Building blocks did come out in the reverse. So while they are learning, okay. And then I have observer on the bottom of the status. On the bottom of the status? On the bottom of the deck. Lord. Okay. Let's get into your person. They're trying. Okay. They're trying to change. That is something here. Are they doing it very well? Here's the thing, okay? Before we beat up your person, those patterns of behavior that are innately ingrained within us that make us operate like this energy right here, which we'll get into, is not an easy thing to undo, okay? So that's that. Vulture. Moving into the vulture space. This is kind of like a energy vampire, but it's also, it picks at the negative. It seeks out negative, right? It seeks out mayhem. It seeks out destruction, right? You know, the vulture is they come in and they swoop in, like they will eat like the rotting, decaying meat, you know, and they'll seek that out. That's what they like. That's their favorite thing. So they operate in a space that is constantly negative, constantly viewing things from a really morbid space. And they also operate in this energy of, with this observer space, okay? The crocodile, the way that the crocodile operates is that it'll come in and it'll like, a crocodile will watch its prey, right? It'll just like observe it, and then it'll come in and like, it like they're faster than we think they are. They're really underestimated creatures in some spaces. It's like they come off as like kind of slow and all this, but no, they're fast. Actually, they're very fast, and they come in and they'll just nab up their prey and then swoop it down. And more importantly, they have already discovered its weakness before they are even clenching their jaws on it. They're very predatorial, and they're very observant, and they watch because they have disadvantages, being that they are a crocodile. You know, there's plenty of disadvantages that they do have. And so they need to be very observant of their prey. Now, so this is somebody who has an awareness of this. They have operated in a space of this snake, okay? But what they're trying to do is come out of the darkness. Now, you know, this could have been in the reverse for a reason, okay? Because you have the moth here. But it's like the butterfly kind of chooses to go within self. The butterfly is, the energy there is more so of a choice of going, of kind of, well, is it? I don't know if it's any less of a choice than what the moth would have to go through, but it's a little bit different. So either way, they're being put through this muck, okay, this like acidic disintegration that occurs within the cocooning phase, okay, and then going through a transformation and coming out of the dark. In particular, the butterfly, I would say they operate in a light space. The moth operates in the dark. And so this energy is very used to darkness, very used to a negative way of looking at things, very pessimistic even. And also, but they're kind of moving now with this earthworm, the cheetah, the swan, and the deer. And to be fair, really, they might be moving into their own ability to be fair. They've been operating sort of in this space of being selfish a little bit. And now are kind of moving into this transitionary space. They could have had a really rough upbringing, very much where they were kind of cast away a little bit, right? And then moved into this space of people really desiring them, people seeing them as something to be desired, seeing them as being attractive even, and maybe not having that in the beginning of their life. And so now kind of having to move that kind of inadvertently, they utilized their looks to their advantage here in this space, okay? Now they're kind of understanding their behaviors, moving into this fairness within self, moving within the fairness of this connection even, and really understanding that the way that they operated was not fair to anyone. Okay, so they're kind of building now a new beginning. But with the building blocks, it's like, with the building blocks being in the reverse, this is like baby steps. This is at the beginning stages of this, because it's almost as like this is, at this point, group 3, this is kind of like an idea, okay, because they're at this space with this being in the reverse, and so not having built upon it yet, and it's still being sort of an idea of how they want the trajectory of things to go, or they have taken very little steps in being in this transitionary phase, especially with the butterfly kind of being in a confusing space, because I didn't know if it was in the upright or if it was in the reverse, and I had moved actually all of these cards into the upright prior to shuffling these, so I wanted to give you a fair advantage, and the butterfly still came out in the reverse. So I feel like maybe it was intended to be there. So it's like, yes, they want to be in this transitionary space, but yes, they do operate from this sort of, maybe a little bit more of a negative space or a lower vibration energetically. You know, lower vibrations energetically would be like self-doubt, animosity, envy, hatred, you know, all depression even is a lower energetic field. And so, and they're just kind of been accustomed to that even. And so now it's like having to build into the space of finding light within themselves. This is something that the cheetah does. And then when you have the earthworm here as well as the snake, it's like they're tunneling out of their own darkness here, right? They're trying to find the light. Specifically, like that is what they're doing right now is trying to find the light. And trying to move out of the darkness that they have kind of burrowed themselves in. All right, so let's find out why they're operating the way they are, and then we will figure out what they would say to you if they had the courage to speak up. Okay. Why is group 3's person? Why are they acting like this? What is going on with group 3's person? Please and thank you. What do we got going on here? Group 3's person. They are not very communicative. This is a repeating cycle. Devil on the bottom of the deck. That's too many cards. This is peeking out. And a lot of internal conflict in this moment. You know, your person might actually be doing some shadow work. Trying to balance out their own energy. This has come up a few times in this. This has come up 3 times actually today. This world in reverse, which is a repeating cycle. And really trying to be in a space of balancing that out. Seeing you as in this light here. With this particular energy, I feel like your person is more the Page and King of Wands, and you are the Empress in this. Or they could be wanting to move into more of an Emperor status. That could be something to just take it as it resonates. So what is going on here? It's a repeated cycle, and they are in right now. I don't think your person knows that. Okay, I don't think they have an awareness of that. I don't think that your person is conscious enough quite yet to know that they are in a cycle and that they themselves are repeating a cycle of behavior, and they're having a lot of internal conflict surrounding this connection, but there's a lot that they're not seeing. Something that they do want to balance out, or the reason that this kind of occurred, was that the imbalance really had a whole lot to do with it's sort of emotional burdens being placed on one person and physical connection being the forefront of the other person's, I guess, reason for operating. The why behind they did that, why they operated in that space, was because they saw connection as a physical experience, but and then the other person was like, well, obviously that's not true. There's far more to a connection than to an emotional connection than just a physical relationship. And that was something that really needed balanced out in this space. You here were in this energy of kind of being like, absolutely not until this comes. Really wanting a lot more of emotion from this person, wanting a lot more compassion, or wanting, like, it seems like this person probably gives the most attention in a physical way. And this could be also a way of not really necessarily understanding one another's love languages either, because for you on this person, you would be far more into the like words of affirmation, acts of service kind of space. Whereas your person here would be physical touch. And that's a big one. You know, this person is operating in physical touch, where they're the king of that even. Okay, but it's kind of interesting because it's like they think that they're the king of it, but they would have a better response if they had emotion with it. So that if they were really good at being the king of wands, because they're technically the page of wands, but if they were really good at being the king of wands, then they could get the Empress to match that. You know, this would put her in the Queen of Wands energy to match him a bit better. And the reason that he's not doing as well with the physical connection is because the emotional connection is being put onto the Empress. And the Empress is holding all of the cups. All of Jai cups are in the Empress's lap. Okay, and so she then was in a space of going, no, I'm going to, you know, having to look, this energy here in this Seven of Wands space, at least for this card, is like really kind of, well, it's interesting because she's almost feeling like that she had to watch out for herself. This energy here, this masculine could be very overbearing when they don't get what they want, in a way, you know, rude, crude, come in with really like, it's interesting because her love language would be words of affirmation, but then what could hurt her the most is the antithesis of like his words. If his words come in, and words mean so much to the Empress, if his words come in and they're like just cutthroat because he's not getting the physical connection that he wants. There's immaturity surrounding this, by the way, because he's operating as a page thinking he's a king. And then coming in with this, like, these like word daggers a bit, and coming in with a bit of like, I'm not getting what I want, so I'm going to put you down for it. And which is very immature. And the Empress, all the Empress was like, I just, you know, you could have everything that you want in this space if you just spoke to me with compassion, you know, here with this Cups energy. If you came in with a little bit, if your approach was kinder, if your approach was more compassionate, if your approach was just a little bit more sensitive, as opposed to putting all the burden then onto the Empress of having to be the one to kind of balance out the emotions in this space. So that is why, well, that is like what has gone down here. And interesting is that I actually feel like in this space, maybe that's why it came in the beginning of your energy here, group 3, because I do feel like you're in the Empress energy. It's like, I actually feel like you're the one not communicating with the King of Wands, because I think the King of Wands probably might speak impulsively even. So okay, what would your person say to you if they broke down the barrier of their various fight response? This is on the bottom of this, so I do think this is something that came into this space. It's like they really have a physical attraction to you. All right, what would they say? What would group 3's person say? What? I can't let go of you. I feel lonely. Will this pain ever stop? Drama. I want to be different. Yeah, I told you that they're on that, like, the brink of, or the beginning phases of, like, seeing themselves differently and seeing this cycle and pattern of behavior. They do have awareness. That's one thing they have. I need to hold back my true feelings for you. It's like they just, for some reason, don't feel like being vulnerable. have a little bit of that in the way, which is childhood trauma. I wish to be like you. Yeah, I think they would like to be a little bit more compassionate. The passion is too much. They have a very strong physical connection with you, very strong physical attraction to you. I can't express myself. No one understands me but you. Emotions overwhelm me. And it's just like a real big fear of being vulnerable compassionately. You are so different than everyone around me. Yeah. And I do feel like they have, like, you know, this kind of a comparative space with you as well, as like putting you up on a bit of a pedestal. Like even your person, I think, sees you as a star, but almost in an aggressive way. You know, you have like it's a sense of ownership here. When you have that crocodile coming in, it's like they see you as is like property in some way. And I'm sure that's really no fun to be in that space. But also it's like they're building an awareness of this. Like they have an understanding. It's like whatever happened in this connection, now I think you kind of moved a little bit harshly in your response to them and decided that, you know what, I can't anymore with this. And I, you know, maybe the reason that you're not communicating had a lot more to do with you kind of being in a space of shutting them out even, or ending, you know, just not, and even not giving in to their sort of antics a bit, right? Those like that impulsivity, or the way that they would be kind of aggressive or, you know, possessive even. And then, you know, pulling way back from that, which is, I think, a great space for you to be in, really. Now that has them sort of, you've allowed them, what's happened then is allowed them the space to reflect upon themselves. And now they're in this sort of transitionary period of kind of coming out of the dark and seeing things in a little bit more light, and building into an awareness of their own behaviors, which is honestly the best place that they can be in, really, group 3. So all right, do me a huge favor, group 3, if this resonated with you, please like this video. That helps my channel tremendously. If you liked this reading and you'd like to come back for more content from me, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified of new videos when they do come out. Leave me a comment down below as well and let me know if this hit with you. Thank you for being here so much, group 3. Enjoy the rest of your day.